Why Donald Trump letting US dollar lose value? As someone who travels a lot, I felt it directly in my pocket. I've loved living in Europe, Moscow, St. Petersburg. Earlier this year, I went and exchanged $10,000 into rubles and euros. I had no problem. A few months later, I did the exact same thing again and exchanged $10,000. Guess what happened? I walked away with 10 to 12% less money. Same dollars, but far less purchasing power. And I used to get much more for my money abroad. This time I feel like the dollar is shrinking in real time. So why is this happening? Let's break it down. Of course, we all know that one of Trump's biggest economic tool is tariffs. He's so proud of it. And a weaker dollar makes his tariffs work even harder. When there is a weaker dollar, imports seem more expensive, they cost more. Exports seem cheaper, they look cheaper. And debt payment become more manageable, and on top of that, a weaker dollar or a cheaper dollar create more room for a lower interest rate. And of course, we all know a lower interest rate means what? Means more borrowing and more investment. Donald Trump is looking at countries like Japan and China. He knew their biggest growth years happened when their currencies were weak. And this guy wants to he wants to run the same playbook in America. Here's the logic. A strong dollars seems sexy, sounds very attractive and patriotic, right? But it makes American goods sold overseas way too expensive. If you're a European citizen, if you're someone living in Europe like me, you will find a piece of equipment, American piece of equipment, or an American car, you'll find it overpriced because the dollar is strong. But when the dollar weakens, the prices of American goods becomes globally competitive. Now combine that with tariffs. Trump isn't just trying to make exports stronger, but is also trying to make imports more expensive. Intentionally, unintentionally, you can debate with me all day on this, but the goal is to push Americans to buy more products made inside the United States and bring more manufacturing back home. But here's where it gets really interesting. The impact of a weaker dollar really depends on who you are. The people who benefit are American companies exporting products abroad, American buying locally made products, tourists visiting the US since their money stretches further, investors in the US stock market, and even European buying American goods since they suddenly look cheaper. The people who lose out are Americans traveling abroad like me since vacations overseas get pricier, Americans who rely on imported goods, and lastly, Europeans trying to sell their products in the US since they became less competitive. So as you saw, there are winners and losers, but here's the trade-off. While this might help the US economy on the long run, it hurts people like you and me right now. Travelers, savers, or anyone holding cash abroad might feel it because our daily purchasing power is shrinking. Trump's bet is simple: short-term pain for long-term gain. A weaker dollar might strengthen the American industries, but unfortunately, until this happens, until the results show up, people like you and I, people like us, unfortunately, we're left to deal with the consequences. That's why you can't just sit on cash. If you want to protect yourself, you've got to park your money in things that hold their value over time. Gold, broad ETF, real estate, real asset, Bitcoin. It's kind of controversial, but if you want to put it in Bitcoin, it's up to you. I'm not a financial advisor, but you got to put it in real assets, not in cash in the bank. What do you think? Do you think the short term pain is worth the long term strategy? I think only time will tell. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below and follow me for more.